You can guarantee a legendary weapon every run within the first 5 minutes. Let me explain a few things before I show you the run. This strategy works on any character, but it has to be done using the crater. Here are the relics that I chose for this run. Because this is a low-level strategy, I'm prioritizing initial standard attack damage, and I also wanted the extra 15% damage bonus from this relic right here. You can guarantee 2 of these 3 passives from the Raider Remembrance quest as well as the Collector's Signboard, but the third one is going to be up to RNG. Jumping into the run, this is a good example of the worst case scenario in terms of spawn location, because we spawned so far away from the crater and we need to get there and kill the Magma Wyrm in under 5 minutes to avoid being closed in on by the day 1 circle. Now, in order to do this, the first thing we want to prioritize is getting to level 2. So we're going to the camp, we're killing only enough enemies to get to level 2, and even more important than that is checking all of the different weapon drops and also some consumable drops to see if we can get anything that's going to help us along the way. Something to note, for Raider, the best, safest options in terms of weapon passives are going to be taking damage increases damage reduction as well as damage reduction at full HP, so that way you don't get one shot. Ideally, you don't take any damage the whole time, except for when you're using your character skill to get the attack bonus, but just in case you want to play it safe. Now, here in this run, in terms of consumables, I didn't get anything good. What you're looking for consumables is weapon greases, because that's going to give you flat added damage bonuses that are going to be good. Here, I also didn't get anything good passive-wise except for increased two-handed damage. 7% isn't a lot, but it's still good. Now, on screen, I have all 4 different spawn locations that I've gotten, 1 being the fastest, 4 being the slowest. Number 3 is at a church, so unfortunately you also have to kill the demi-human queen by the crater to level up to level 2. You end up getting to level 3 or maybe 4, and you get another weapon out of it or passive too, so it's also good, a little bit faster, but just something to note. Number 2, in my opinion, is the best spawn location because there is a shack where you can get sacred seals that can give you electrify armament, blood flame blade, black flame blade, poison armament. Anything that you can add to your weapon with any character, you don't have to be level 3 to be able to apply it. And not only that, right after you get the Sacred Seals and dodging the Red Wolf, you can drop down and kill the Demi-Human Queen in order to get a few levels and an extra weapon or passive. That makes number 2 by far the easiest one because you're the highest level and you're the most well-equipped to do it. Here, this is the most bare-bones route. I'm running the entire time. I'm not stopping for anything. You can see coming up in a second, the only thing I stop for is some extra increased physical damage and fire damage from the campfire that's right next to the Spectral Hawk at the top of the crater. Now here, what we're going to do is, I call it the bird skip, to get down to the bottom and fight the Magma Wyrm. Now, it takes a few tries, but I'll show you how to do it, and it's not too hard once you get the hang of it. Once you get over to the Spectral Hawk, you'll see that you take off kind of slowly, and then after a second, you start raising up faster. Whenever you start raising up faster, I want to push my stick all the way to the left. That happens right here. I'm drifting all the way to the left, and then whenever my screen stops moving right there, I wait a second and drop off, and you need to make sure that you're holding forward the entire time so you can carry your momentum through to land without hitting the lava. There are some spots that you can land and hit the lava and still survive, but you don't want to be taking damage here. You have very few flasks, and taking any damage means that getting one shot is much more likely. Now, because this is a very low level run, I'm playing this extremely safe. Not only can the Magma Wyrm one-hit you with basically all of its attacks, but the magma that's on the ground will also kill you essentially instantly if you're not full health. I've had plenty of times where I've been playing too aggressively and the Magma Wyrm actually pushes me around and I get rotated into one of the magma hitboxes and it kills me instantly. Something that's also good about any of the spawns where you kill the Demi-Human Queen is you have your ultimate by the time you get down here, which means if you are Iron Eye or Raider or Wilder, and even Executor, honestly, you'll have your ultimate available to stun the Magma Wyrm out of its crawling attack, which helps speed this up. I didn't have it, so I had to wait for the full crawling attack, which really slows you down. But here, I'm just taking it safe, trying to avoid the magma. After a stun like that, I get off a full charged R2 every time, and then also get off the critical hit. This really speeds things up. And instead of using my ultimate right here now that I have it, I wait until the next crawling attack so I can cancel that, while also getting the damage bonus. Something that's happening here as well is every time I have my character skill available, I want to be using it so I can get that 15% damage up, so that way I can keep as high damage as possible the entire time to speed this fight up. Aiming for headshots is something that you also want to do because that gives you 50% extra damage on each hit. And you can see here, I'm really hesitant to go in because there's so much magma on the ground that I know that I might die instantly, and that's really not what I'm looking for. Here, I also get ticked by the magma. Luckily, I'm doing my character skill, so I have some damage reduction, but that can be very deadly if you get caught in an animation and pushed into it. Again, this can be done on any character. Characters like Recluse and Revenant are going to be very hard because of the low health. Characters like Duchess, Iron Eye, and Executor are good with status builds, and Raider is good because of his increased poise damage and big initial standard attacks. But here we have a 506 kill. This is also with almost the worst possible setup and the worst spawn location. It really goes to show just how fast this can end up being. Also, I didn't get anything very good from the Magma Wyrm, but a lot of times you'll get a good weapon from there that you can use to upgrade to Legendary and steamroll through the rest of the run. Or if you start out with the right element for the Nightlord, this is a very potent way to immediately get set up and snowball the way to a victory at the end. Here, I'll let the rest of the run play out. I end up killing just about every formidable great enemy on the map. Thank you for watching.